Judge Irma Schoeman has dismissed the objection by defense lawyer Peter Daubermann in the case against Pastor Timothy Omotoso and two co-accused that the private state prosecutors were not duly appointed. The defense had put in application that rape-accused Pastor Timothy Omotoso and his two co-accused Zukiswa, Sitho and Lusanda, Sulani be acquitted. Daubermann argued that prosecutors in the case did not have authority to prosecute as they were not appointed by the National Director of Public Prosecutions. Daubermann is now busy with his argument on the application of the mistrial. Top of his argument is proof of emails which he says allegedly show the prosecution team under advocate Ndelwa conspired to persuade witnesses to commit perjury. The trial continues at the Port Elizabeth High Court. And for more on this story, we catch up now with my colleague Lerato Fekisi, who's been watching proceedings. Thanks very much, Lerato, for joining us. Just tell us what the latest is.
Afternoon to Nompo. I think the main objective of the defense now is to pick through all the evidence presented by the state. Like you alluded earlier on, his main case now is try and appeal for mistrial. Two things really coming forward from that. Number one, he wanted to prove that the state prosecutor, Advocate Ndelwa, did try in some way to convince the witnesses of what to say. There is an email alleged in the hands of the defense where Peter Daubermann was saying that one of the witnesses did say that Advocate Ndelwa persuaded her to say something that she didn't want to say and then actually told her what to say. And then throughout the afternoon, he was also going through various allegations that are coming from the witnesses where he says throughout the evidence from the witnesses, none of them have ever come forward and said they have been raped. Yes, they have said that the pastor did touch them in uncomfortable ways. Yes, they have said that they did make them feel uncomfortable. But throughout the entire research or the evidence put forward by the state, not once did the defense pick up that the witnesses did actually say that they did commit rape. So Advocate Peter Daubermann was really saying that for a long time he wants to prove that the allegation of rape against Pastor Timothy Omotoso is actually not true because the witnesses in all their statements do not actually point out to rape, but rather mistreatment or illegal handling of their private parts. So that's what he's been really going through throughout the whole morning and now during the afternoon, really going through page by page of all the evidence, trying to point out that there was never any rape in this case. If anything, it was just illegal touching of the pastor allegedly through the witnesses, but not rape like the state is accusing.
One wonders when this case will actually get concluded because it's been running for the longest time. Just give us a little bit of an overview of how long you've been covering this, because I know that it's been years now.
It's been years. I think it's one of the longest running cases in the metro. You remember that he was actually arrested in 2015 in April. So we're looking over 5 years of someone being in prison. And like you said, Nombo, it's been a stop and start affair with dismissals and then adjournments and then waiting for another month again. But what has really been important here is just the major effects that the story has had. And I think two things that stood out from this case was the recusal of Judge Makaula, who recused himself as a judge because they alleged that he also conspired to influence the witness on what to say. And yet again now, we find ourselves in another position again where the defense is saying for a second time now, someone from the state, they allege is also doing the same thing to influence witnesses on what to say. So it's been a stop and start affair with people getting out of the trial, having a new judge now, Judge Irma Schoeman. And you really do ask yourself, how long is this trial going to go for? And are we going to get to a final verdict where the actual trial does begin, because it starts and then it stops, then there's a mistrial, then there's allegations against perjury of witnesses. So it's really been a start and stop affair, and it's really been interesting to see just the allegations and what the defense has been bringing forward all the time, because obviously their aim is to get the pastor and his two accused acquitted, and that they'll do whatever comes their way.
Lerato, thank you very much for your report. My colleague there, Lerato Fekisi. Suspended